Ransom left.
Co-motor forklift.
Be moving from right to left. New York down to our left and be moving from left to right. The Bruins are at Chicago for their fourth game of the series, with Chicago leading in that series 2-1. And they should be pretty close to the end of their first period of play, and we should be getting scores in from Chicago momentarily. And just as soon as we do, we'll be passing them along to you. The Rangers started to pick up momentum in that final period at the Spectrum the other night. The Flyers hung on and took advantage of a few Ranger mistakes to capitalize and win 5-2. And the Rangers have momentum going here, plus 17,500 of their fans. And believe you me, in a short series and a tight game, that means an awful lot. Flyers will be going with Bill Barber and Bobby Clark as their penalty killers. The gag line up front for New York, with Russo and Park at the points. And we're set for second period action. And for the play-by-play, let's go Flyers. Let's go Gene Hart.
Thank you, Dono. Rattel and Clark. Brian Lewis drops the puck, swept to the far boards. Hatfield beats Ashby to it, feeds back to Park at his own line, crosses right wing boards at center. Rousseau comes through to Rattel off his skate and stick, rolls to Van Impe, and he caroms it off the far boards all the way down into the Ranger zone. Rousseau catches up with it, sets up along the right side of Jacquemin, tries to play a pass, blocked by Clark, and Gilbert has to dig it out of the near corner, plays up in the near wing. Rousseau racing for it. He had trouble with it. Now it's picked up by Gilbert, trailing Rattel. Goes into the zone. He's got Hatfield trying to get a shot. Now holds. Tries to dump it on the net. Blocked by Clark and flipped out to center ice as the Flyers had that play covered along the far. Now it's Gilbert. A weak pass, but Hatfield takes it. Tries to hit the flying Park over the line offside as he had to drag it in behind him, and Rousseau had already penetrated, anticipating a quick break into the zone. 1:09 remaining on the penalty to DuPont. We've played 46 seconds into the second period, and the Flyers by 1, 2-1.
Bobby Rousseau leads all members of both of these clubs in playoff appearances with 121, the bulk of them spent with the championship Montreal Canadiens. And, you know, to watch him play in this series, Gene, he doesn't look a day older, I should say, than when he was with Montreal.
Well, obviously, he's shown that he's needed as he's picked up. He's been in 9 of the 16 goals the Rangers have scored all season against the Flyers. He has it now with Park at the Ranger line, looking through back to Rousseau, comes right up the middle, over the line. He's going to shoot, and it's blocked by the Flyers. Dumped in along the near side to Rattel, back to Rousseau to the point, winding up Gilbert. He fired into that far corner, intending it for Hatfield. He's got Rattel, he's got Gilbert breaking for the net. There's a pass, and we're going to have another Flyer penalty against Van Impe. As soon as Lansbury touches up, he's going to let it go and run some time off. Now he does, and it's going to be a trip against Van Impe. 35 seconds remaining, and the Flyers will be 2 men short. 18:40 remaining second period. 2-1 Philadelphia. Sooner or later, we got to start getting bored, right?
This is a pitch for General Electric.
You'll never strike out with this GE refrigerator freezer. The freezer section is larger than most chest freezers, nearly 7 cubic feet, nearly 21 cubic feet in all. Look at all these shelves. And the new Power Saver feature is a miser on electricity.
Another reason why GE is America's #1 major appliance value. GE refrigerators start as low as $169.
Ed Van Impe goes to the box for tripping at 120 as he tripped up Rod Gilbert right in front of the Flyer crease, as the centering pass was just wide of Perron and came to the near board. So now the Flyers have dug a deep hole, and Gene, according to my calculations, Dave Schultz will be eligible to come out in another minute plus the first stoppage of play thereafter.
Well, actually, he has to go 1:37 into the period, which means the clock should read 18:23, so he can come out, I would think, after 17 seconds. He almost had to serve a full period, 2, 2, 5, and 10. So he went off at 2:37 of the first period, makes him eligible at 1:37 of the second. But, of course, he's not going to be involved in this power play. And Flyers get the draw, and Ashby chasing it. He wants to get it out before he's challenged by Rattel. Nice play as it bounced to Clark off Rattel from Ashby, and he drives it down the ice. 20 seconds now as the Flyers have to protect against Rousseau. They have a 2-man edge, and they're going for the tying goal. Over the line comes Gilbert on the right wing, breaking for the net. is Rattel, and a shot by Gilbert. The save tipped out to the point. Kept in by Park. Park crosses to Rousseau, right wing. Gives in to Hatfield. There he is. Shot. Super save. Rebound cleared out to the point. Shot by Park. A save by Perron again. And he kicks it out just as the penalty to DuPont expires. As Hatfield and then Park challenge Perron.
And that's why Bernie Perron is the leading goaltender in the National Hockey League with a 189 goals against average. Rousseau across to Hatfield. It got through Ashby. Glove save Perron. And it came right up the slot to Park. He swerved around on the forehand, drove again, another glove hand save. This time Perron squeezed the glove and held on.
And Bobby Clark, who never stops thinking, was behind Perron. Dave Schultz back on the bench, head down. Probably a little stiff, but ready to go as soon as the Flyers come back at even strength. The penalty to Van Impe has another minute and 25 seconds. The Flyers skated from 16:39 to 18:39 shorthanded, from 19:55 to 1:20, and now they literally will be going close to 6 minutes with a one-man deficit. Park remains out, and now they have Tkachuk at the left point. They've got Fairburn, Stemkowski with Vickers up front. The face-off goes back to the point. Tkachuk shot. Oh, wide of the net as Perron reached out. Fairburn in the near corner, trying to center, tied up by Lonsbury, trying to dig it behind the net. In comes Stemkowski attempting to dig it out. Down goes Flyer defenseman in that corner as the play is called. Joe Watson. And so the face-off will be to the left of Perron with 1:14 remaining on the penalty to Van Impe.
You know, you take this Ranger lineup and go down the lineup man for man, and it's awesome. You wonder why they weren't even more successful during the regular season.
But out of break here as Park was beaten to the puck by the Flyers, who tipped it out. Now McLeish is out there, passing the near wing of Fairburn, penetrates at the point. Pass tipped right in, taken away by Watson. Plays off Lonsbury's stick and down the ice along the near boards. Less than a minute than the penalty is. Tkachuk is back, shadowed by another 18, Lonsbury, who slips, and then Tkachuk out to the near side of the net and up ice. He's got Vickers on his left. He's got Fairburn on his right. The Vickers over the line, overskates it on the wing. Shoves a weak pass right into DuPont. He overskates, has it at his feet. Clears up to McLeish along the near side. Make that Lonsbury. The Flyers now, McLeish clears it back to Joe Watson alongside and behind the Flyer net. Dumps it up along the near side, and McLeish tries to get it out. Fails the first time and does on the second. Past Tkachuk all the way down on the far corner of the Ranger zone. 25 seconds on the penalty. We've played 3 minutes into a scoreless second period. The Flyers lead 2-1, and the Rangers with the power play advantage. As Tkachuk casually brings the center, now picks up speed. Trying to play through to Stemkowski. Play broken up nicely. And here comes McLeish breaking through against Tkachuk. Barber for the net, but he goes in too soon offside with just 9 seconds remaining on the penalty.
Barber misread what McLeish intended to do. McLeish was ad-libbing as he closed in on the Ranger blue line. Instead of going across the line, cut parallel with it. Barber went straight through, forcing the offside, so it stops play with 9 seconds left on the penalty to Ed Van Impe. Faceoff will be outside the New York line on the Flyers' left wing. Fred Shero now sends out Flett and Clark as his forwards. Barry Ashby and Jimmy Watson stay on the defense for the Flyers.
Right, Clark loses a draw, Sealing to Nielsen. Can't get it past Clark. Broken up, and then again by Clark, and then by Jimmy Watson as Nielsen circles around. The penalty is over. The Flyers at full strength. Now McGregor kicks it into the offensive left wing corner, goes in with Ashby. Puck kick free. Ashby shoves it under McGregor to make sure as Irvin came by to try to poke it free behind the Flyer net, and we'll get a draw to the right of Perron. 3:29 gone in the scoreless second period, and the Flyers still lead by a goal.
Still no report on the Boston at Chicago game. And just as soon as we get that out-of-town score, and we'll be keeping you posted as we get scores in from Chicago, Boston must win or face going back to Boston with a 3-1 deficit.
Well, you know who's coming out now with all the boos.
Number 8, Dave Schultz.
Schultz, Flett, and Clark. Stemkowski, the draw in the corner. Ashby there, winds it around the near side. McGregor's going to try to keep it away. Bumped by Schultz, and out comes Clark along the near side. He's got Sealing to contend with. Tries to get by him. Does! Going right on in! He shoots! Oh, Jackman with a great save. As Clark peeked him, Jackman slid out, and had Clark been able to lift, he'd have had a goal, but I think his intention was to slide it under Jackman, who covered it, and Clark went right by Sealing and challenged the Ranger goaltender, who was equal.
Great move by Clark. In fact, a series of great moves as he carries it across the red line at center ice. Fake inside to split the two defensemen. Cut to the outside. Got around Sealing, and only Jacquemin stood in his way. Jacquemin committed himself, but Bobby couldn't get any lift on it.
Shot on Jacquemin, easy save, and with Flett and Crisp coming in, and Jacquemin a little concerned about throwing the puck away after coming out, decided to sit on it and stop action.
Bobby's got a very unique way of showing disgust at himself. He just takes his stick being held by his two hands and just shakes the stick, saying, why didn't I get it on the heel of the blade and get it a little lift? He had the top half of the net all to himself.
Flett takes the draw. He's dumped by Stemkowski as Ralph plays up at center ice. Tipped back to Stemkowski and stolen nicely away by Jimmy Watson. The Crisp over the line. Flett with a shot high off the near corner glass. Schultz dumps it behind the net. Jacquemin is there, poked away from him by Flett. Flett wants to get it back, holds it at the point, shot, whistles one right over Jacquemin's shoulder over the top of the net. Flett's best shot of the series. Tipped in by Van Imp, cleared out by Dale Rolfe to center ice. Coming against the Flyers to Stemkowski on the right wing over the line. Tipped back and into center ice. Brad Park now has to retreat back to his own line while his wings clear as the forechecking of Crisp keeps him cautious. Crosses along the near boards to Rolfe, and Rolfe just gives the puck away at center to Van Imp. Throw to Crisp at the Ranger line. Right wing pass to Flett. Gives it in to Crisp. Back to Flett. He's right on in. Shot. Trickles right in on Jacquemin, who didn't know where it was, and he swept it to the corner. And in the corner, we have Rolfe along with Crisp jamming it up, and play is called. With 15:15 remaining in the second period. It's 2-1 Philadelphia.
The old Abbott's milk wagon is long gone, but that wonderful Abbott's Dairy is still around, bringing good, fresh, modern things like nice and light 99% fat-free milk, chocolate milk, cottage cheese, and nice and light yogurt to your supermarket or your door. Abbott's Nice and Light. Good things to remember.
Back here at Madison Square Garden, 2-1 Flyers. Face off in the circle to the left of Ed Jacquemin.
Kindrachuk, Selesky, and Barber tipped to the point. Ashby can't keep it in. Challenged by Rattel, and rather than gamble him poking it up along the boards and breaking behind the defenseman, Ashby makes sure he gets a tie-up just outside the Ranger blue line. The gag line out, the Hatfield and Gilbert around Rattel with Nielsen and Sealing. Kindrachuk, Barber, and Selesky with Ashby and DuPont. Rolls back into the Ranger zone. Nice play by Nielsen to fake Kindrachuk out of the way, but then an errant pass along the near wing is flipped to center ice by Barber. Cleared in by Rattel, offside as Gilbert had not yet come out.
A lot of people are wondering why Fred Chiro broke up his front line of Barber, Clark, and Flett. I think the answer is a very simple one, to give that third line of Kindrachuk, Selesky, and now Barber a bit more experience.
Along the side, Nielsen penetrates, trying to play through to Rattel, who was inside, but the Flyers break that play up and shoot it back into the Ranger zone. Sealing there quickly along the near side, pokes it under Kindrachuk's stick to Rattel. Drop pass to Gilbert to Hatfield over the line against Selesky. Centering pass right through the goal mouth, and Rattel just failed to get there in time. The McLeish right through from Gilbert to Hatfield, who was in the crease. And down goes Kindrachuk at center ice on Nielsen's check as play is getting ferocious, and the gag line almost capitalized on a play in the net. Here comes Gilbert through to Hatfield, tips it in the corner. Bumped off the play, but Gilbert is into the corner along with Ashby trying to dig it out. Does into that far side. Rattel is there, but out comes Barber, playing up on the far wing to Selesky, to Kindrachuk at center. Three Rangers back into the near corner. Barber looks for the carom, shoots wide of the net. The deep rebound goes to the far side. Bladen out there, shot. Tipped loose on the net, and out come the Rangers. Kindrachuk and Joe Watson back. There goes Vickers for the net. The pass is too far. He follows it in the corner. Rattel in front. Vickers can't center it. Down goes Watson. Centering, here it comes. Gilbert. And shooting and blocking is Bladen beautifully. Tom Bladen, his first shift on the ice, with Gilbert at point-blank range, blocked the shot. Changing the line. Here comes Ralph right up the middle. He's got Gilbert on his right. He's going to drop him a pass. Shot. Oh, it just trickled wide on the deflection short side. Given out to the point to Park. He tips it into Gilbert along the near side. Centering pass on the net. And Perron hangs on with Vickers in the crease on the other side, being worked on by Bladen.
Flyers travel arrangements by Admiral Travel. So whether you're moving a great hockey team or just a family of four on vacation, you'll find the help you need at Admiral. Admiral Travel on the corner of 16th and Walnut in downtown Philadelphia. They're open Wednesday evenings for your convenience. Well, Bernie Parent said that he expected to be more tested tonight than he has been thus far, and I'd have to say his prognostication has come true thus far.
Indeed. Kachuk tries to draw it back, but he draws it all the way back to the Ranger line from the faceoff as Vickers circles at center, coming up against Jimmy Watson. Over the line, holds, trying to play through, intended for Kachuk. Play broken up as it rolled to Parent, and it's sent down the ice by Dornhofer. McLeish will be there first, but it'll be either an icing or an offside, and it will be one twixt the other after 6:51 of a scoreless second period. Flyers still by 1, but the Rangers are really pressing and are carrying play.
It's called on the offside, and the difference, of course, is the center of the face-off circle versus the top of the face-off circle, which is where the pass emanated. So he picks up maybe 10, 12 feet in the difference, and it's going to be McLeish against Walter Kachuk. 2-1 Flyers, with 6:51 into the second period. All of the scoring thus far came in the first period. And, of course, with the Ringling Brothers Circus here in New York, the garden maintenance crew is really getting a workout, changing from the circus to hockey, back to circus again.
Right, Kachuk and McLeish at the top of the circle. Rick tries to shove it out and does, and he's got Dornhofer breaking in the right wing against Ralph. Tries to go inside him. Ralph screens him off nicely. Park takes the puck away. Tries to poke it past McLeish. Gives it to Russell. We're going to have a penalty and a violation as McLeish batted it forward to Lonsbury. And in his anxieties, he saw Lonsbury and Dornhofer going against Park 2-on-1 in front of the net, but the play was whistled out.
These same two teams will go at it again on Sunday afternoon here at the Garden, starting at 2 o'clock. 1:55 Gene Hart's pregame show on WCAU Radio. We'll be taking the air live from the Garden at 2. Lonsbury and Dornhofer, 2/3 of the McLeish line, as now on for the Flyers, Clark, Flett, and Schultz.
Against Stemkowski, Irvin, and McGregor, with Sealing and Nielsen, who gets the puck, throws the center onto the stick of Jimmy Watson. Challenged, bats a pass off Clark's skate, dumped into the zone, stolen away, and clipped out the center ice. Play a little ragged there. No one in possession. Van Imp tries to shoot it in and dumps it out of the rink, and we'll have a face-off at center ice.
And it's going to be just outside the face-off dot, between the red line and the face-off dot. Again, the point of emanation of the shot by Van Imp, which rode up over the glass on the far side of the rink. Clark against Stemkowski.
Along the near side, racing for Jimmy Watson. Challenging him as Stemkowski has trouble with it. Almost fails to clear it out, and then does, and Clark makes a play. Kept in by the Rangers. Watch out, they've got Irvin in front. McGregor on the far boards. Dumps it into the corner. There is Stemkowski trying to center. Does. Nobody there as the Flyers effectively screened out, and Schultz looks for Clark. Clark has it along the near side. Flips to center. Flett racing for it along the near side with Nielsen. Nielsen up ice along the near boards. Gets it to McGregor. Poked away and cleared back to Irvin. Over the Flyer line. Shot. Parent reaches out. Steers it behind to Watson, up along the near side to Schultz. He can't control. Sealing, backtracking away from Clark. Plays up to McGregor, stolen, and fed by Clark to Flett. Off the boards, shot over the top of the net, over the glass, and out of the rink, and the face-off will come probably in the neutral zone.
With 11:56 to go in the middle period of play, the score remains Flyers 2 and the Rangers 1.
No matter how you take your tasty break, there are some things you'll always enjoy. Great tasting ingredients, fresh baked flavor, and the sheer fun of biting into your very own personal favorite. Tasty cake. All the good things wrapped up in one.
All set to go. Face-off outside the New York line. Clark again against Stemkowski.
Clark, Kelly, and Schultz, along with DuPont and Ashby, shot on Jackman from mid-ice, stick to the near corner. Park is challenged by Schultz. Puck stolen by DuPont and cleared out. Up ice to Stemkowski. Going against Ashby. A shot. And Parent reaches out and makes the save. Parent and Ashby knocked down behind the net. Flyers and Rangers try to come out along the near side. Ashby is being hooked into the corner by Irvin. Kelly digs it out. Schultz can't keep it in. Shot blocked by Kelly, or by Clark from Park, and out he comes with Schultz and Schultz. Over the line, Schultz comes. Can't control the puck as it was a drop pass from Clark. Now Irvin passes behind Rolfe. and it's given up nicely to McLeish over the line. Kelly's got Schultz in front. And the shot by Park, as Kelly tried to shoot instead of pass, was blocked. Rangers try to come out, and they do. McGregor at center, surrounded by 4 Flyers. Gives it to Irvin. Shot off Perrant's stick, and it caroms off the glass into the seats along the near side, and the face-off deep in the Flyer zone, directly lost to the right.
The new country movement has left behind the corn, but has kept the husk, sweetened it just a bit, and the result is eloquent. It's best brought to you by the one and only Roy Clark, the Academy of Country Music's Entertainer of the Year in 1973. Clark will appear at the Spectrum on April 27th at 8 p.m. Tickets priced at $6.50, $5.50, and $4.50. They're on sale now at the Spectrum and Ticketron outlets. Don't miss the man who can do it all, Roy Clark. In the last 5 minutes or so, the Rangers have started to pick up the tempo of the play, and they're carrying the offense to the Flyers.
Chuk out there, puck stolen as he's won with the McLeish line up to Dornhofer on the right wing at center. 4 Rangers back. Dornhofer into the near corner, racing for it is Sealing, taking it away from McLeish, winding it around quickly to Vickers on the far side, who's challenged by Lonsbury up to Kachuk, right wing to Fairburn, off his stick into the corner, followed by Jimmy Watson. Bumped off the puck. In comes Kachuk, in comes McLeish. They tie it up again, a face-off to the left of Perrant.
In the first period, the Rangers outshot the Flyers 8-5. We do not have a shot clock here at the Madison Square Garden as we do at the Spectrum to keep you abreast as play is going on. But it would appear to me, Gene, that the the Rangers have had much the better of the edge on the shots and goal thus far in this period.
Yes, and right now the game seems to have, after all of the hoopla and fireworks and the penalties and even the crowd, as well as the game, has settled down into a cat and mouse game as the Flyers protect and the Rangers attack. Jimmy Watson in the corner, challenged by Rattel, trying to get it up along the near side. Now in there is Gilbert, but it's Barber clearing it out as the Rangers setting 2 and 3 men in, trying to get that puck away. Jimmy Watson gets a pass, blocked by Hatfield, too far through for Rattel, who's going to beat Van Impe into the corner. Looks to center, tries to play for Gilbert, who digs it out. Can't. Van Impe tying him up around the net. Gilbert, Hatfield tries to center. Taken away by Kindrachuk. Stolen back by Rattel. Stolen back by Kindrachuk around the near side. Up along to Barber. Barber tips it at center. Zaleski races for it and comes over the line. Going into the corner. Looks to center. And Jackman had to stick out. Barber tries to come out. Knocked away by Jackman again. Up along the near side. Dumps in the corner to Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk tries to center. Stolen nicely by Sealing around the far side. Hatfield challenged by Ashby, who keeps it in, but then it's tipped up to Rattel. Rattel center ice as Kindrachuk is going to pick up the man. Over the line comes Gilbert, stolen away by DuPont. Back comes Barber with Zaleski, 2-on-2. Zaleski for the net. Pass is weak and behind as Ralph had Zaleski tied up. Play still going on. Tipped past Barber. Here come the gag line up with Vickers on the left. Rattel up at center with Gilbert over the line. Vickers for the net. Blocked. Rebound block. And it goes into the corner to Zaleski, and he clears it out off Rattel's skate all the way down the ice, so there'll be no icing called. Clock running, 9:15 left in a scoreless second period, 2-1. Flyers leading. Now McLeish steals it away. Over the line, shot. Tipped wide of the corner. It's spun around as Dornhofer, and we're going to have a Ranger penalty, and it's for hooking against Dale Rolfe, and it comes at 10:55. And with 9:05 left in period number 2, 2-1 Flyers.
In a Ford Model T, you could depend on just about everything, except the weather. In a Ford Pinto, you can make your own weather. Pinto's price is so low you can afford a sunroof, air conditioning, a rear window defroster. The economical little Pinto. Base sticker price $24.42, excluding dealer prep, destination charges, title, and taxes.
See your local Ford dealer. He's 6 car dealers in one.
Back here at Madison Square Garden, Dale Rolfe off for a holding, time of his penalty at 10:55, so the Flyers will get their first power play opportunity of this period. Out in Chicago at the end of the first period, Boston leads Chicago 2-1. Greg Shepard and Ken Hodge for the Bruins, Pip Martin scoring for Chicago.
Flyers have only had one power play, and they've cashed in on it. That was McLeish's great goal as he broke through the defense, was tripped, and while sliding on his knees and then his tummy, scored a goal by flipping it past Ed Shackerman. All right, Flyers with the edge. They have McLeish out there with Dornhofer and Lonsbury. Bladen with Barber. Barber over the red line. Dumps it in. Jackman will dig it out. trying to play off, knocked down into the corner by Barber. Barber wrapped up by Sealing. Lonsbury gets it free, looking for a man at the point. There's Tommy Bladen. He's going to shoot. Tipped wide, bounces through. They scramble for it. Knocked down is Lonsbury. Shoves it into Dornhoff. He's got a man in front. Shot! Oh, score! Billy Barber for a case of tasty cake from Dornhofer and Tommy Bladen, and it's 3-1 Philadelphia.
Time of the goal comes at 11 minutes, 33 seconds, and the Flyers have taken a 3-1 lead on their second power play goal of the night, their 10th on the series. The drive started from Tommy Bladen, a bouncing puck in front, touched up by Lonsbury. So Lonsbury will be in on it. Lonsbury to Dornhofer to Barber, who puts it home and Jackman did get a slight piece of it. I believe it trickled between his legs, off his pads, and into the New York net behind him. Time of the goal, 11:33, a power play goal for the Flyers. It's 3-1 Flyers. Bill Barber gets the goal, and it should be from Lonsbury and Dornhofer.
All right, here comes Ralph off the ice. The Rangers back by 2. Over the line, Stemkowski, a shot. Perrant sticks it into the corner. Steers it away from the on-charging Stemkowski to Clark. Twists away, lifts it up to Crisp, and Crisp comes to center with DuPont and Flett, 3-on-2. Over the line, wants to drop a pass, does DuPont, can't. Taken into the corner by Ralph, and the puck sprung free by Stemkowski. Out along the near side, plays to McGregor. McGregor looking up ice, keeps it himself at the right wing, over the line. Drop pass, coming to the near side is Irvin, looking back at Park at the point. Wants to angle for a shot. Throws it through a screen, tipped wide by Stemkowski. Dumped behind the net, and there are only Flyers there. And it's wound around by DuPont along the near boards all the way down the ice. If Clark gets there first, he'll be onside, and there'll be no icing. And no, Park does a nice job of screening him off, touching up, and icing against the Rangers.
Well, actually, Park had a more direct route to the puck as it slid around the boards. Clark tried to catch it before it made the curve, so icing is the call. Really, the only difference would have been a matter of about 10 or 12 feet. Sometimes that can be a big difference, but at any rate, it's in the circle to the left of Perrant. As we're down to 7:32 left in second period play, the Flyers have expanded their lead once more to 2 goals. It's 3-1. And strange, Gene, that it's been the Flyers that have used the power play route, and New York, with 66 during the season, have been held to but 4 in the 2
Watch out,
series.
Gilbert draws back to Nielsen with a shot. Nice kick save, Perrant on the short side. Zaleski trying to clear out, tipped off the stick into the neutral zone by Hatfield, and that fed down ice into the Ranger zone off the stick of Schultz. Schultz and Kindrachuk forechecking, as is Zaleski. The 3 of them are beaten, and out comes Rattel with Gilbert. Tied up in there by Kindrachuk, and the puck kept in center ice on a nice poke check by Van Impe. Now it's Rattel over the line into the near corner to Nielsen, who dumps it in. There is Kindrachuk out the far side, tied up by Hatfield. Gilbert wants the center, tries to spin it out to the point. He's tied up and hooked and held a little bit by Van Impe. Puck into the neutral zone. Nielsen shoots it right back in, and Hatfield is right by Perrant, and that's an obvious offside.
Actually, there were 2 Rangers still in the zone. The puck came back in, so there was no question on the offside call by linesman Ron Finn. Again, that score from Chicago at the end of the first period. The Bruins lead the Hawks 2-1. Greg Shepard, who's had a fine playoff year thus far for Boston, along with Ken Hodge, the goal scorers for the Bruins. Pitt Martin, the lone scorer for the Hawks.
Rattel dumps it into the zone. Van Impe crosses to Jimmy Watson, challenged by Rattel, dumps it off at center ice, off the skate of Barber, rolls to Sealing, crossing to Nielsen, trying to play through in the Flyer zone, does, but it rolls away from Gilbert to Jimmy Watson, up to Barber, stolen away again by Rattel, who's probably been at his most effective in this game tonight. Up ice comes Sealing as he picks it up at his own line. Through, looking for Hatfield. Goes the length of the ice. In there first is Zaleski, and icing is called, probably, I think, for the first time in this period against New York.
In fact, one of the very few icing calls made against the Rangers all night long. 3-1 the score. 6:24 to go in second period play here at Madison Square Garden as the Flyers stay with Kindrachuk, Barber, and Zaleski, Jimmy Watson, and Barry Ashby. Emil Francis comes out with Kachuk, Bill Fairbairn, and Steve Vickers face off in the circle to the left of Ed Giacomin.
Now Freddie Sherrill wants to make a defensive change. Now he's giving Joe Watson a shift on that left side, giving DuPont a breather with Ashby on the right. Barber, Zaleski, centered by Kindrachuk against Kachuk, Fairburn, Vickers with Park and Rolfe. To the left of Jackman, and now Brian Lewis has spotted a little debris in the ice and picks it up. Kindrachuk with Kachuk. Kachuk draws it back to Rolfe, who circles away, comes behind the net to the near side, out and flies past Kindrachuk, who slashes at his skates, comes to the Flyer line, wants to get past Joe Watson. Joe Watson's going to pick up a penalty for hooking or tearing him down on the hold, and there's the call, and it's hold against Joe Watson. And with 6:08 remaining in the second period, 3-1 Philadelphia.
The Big G account, $3 a month for 8 banking needs. It's making a lot of people glad they bank at Girard.
We got a great deal.
0.5% off our annual percentage rate on car and personal loans. Another nice thing, you can write all the checks you want. There's no extra charge and no required balance.
Right.
There's a guy who used to spend more on checking a loan than he does now for all his banking.
It's a bleep of a deal, pal.
It's a bleep of a deal. The Big G account. Other banks just don't have it.
Joe Watson goes to the Flyer penalty box for holding Dale Rolfe at 13:52. Rolfe flung the puck into the Flyers' near corner right, and Watson stayed with him, tied him up, and he's out for the next 2 minutes of play as New York again goes with their power play for the second time in this period.
I think this is a crucial play at this juncture of the game for the Rangers, Don. Puck right at Kachuk's skates. Cleared to Verbe, but he's got a man in front. Vickers, there it is! Score! They got the draw to Fairburn, and Vickers took his favorite spot right in the crease, and the puck couldn't have traveled more than 3 feet as he touched it in the crease to the right of Ferrand for the score. Vickers from Fairburn and Kachuk at 13:57.
And for Steve Vickers, it only took he and his Ranger teammates 5 seconds to beat Ferrand on the power play effort. Steve Vickers scoring his second 1974 series goal. Kachuk and Fairburn the assists. We're quite sure that's the way it'll read. And now it's once again a 1-goal hockey game, 3-2 Flyers, on the 5th power play goal of the 1974 combined Stanley Cup Series for New York.
You can almost read that one all the way, as it was in the corner, and Fairburn saw Vickers, and Ferrand had no chance on the short side as he tried to take a poke at it. Went past him, and all Vickers had to do was redirect. Now, Don, it's incredible here. As we look down in the first row, you would think you had a visiting foreign diplomat or a president or vice president or a governor, as there is a long arm of the law in every row along the way. And every time a fan appears to be getting a little unruly, a host of security men quickly jab to that scene as Emil Francis paces the bench behind the Ranger forwards, and just to his right on the other side of the exitway is Fred Shiro. Well, they kept the Kachuk line off the board entirely with no points or assists in the first 2 games. Kachuk had no points or assists either in the Montreal series or this one up to tonight. Now they have 2 goals, and that could be a key to the Ranger comeback. Now DuPont up to Chris. Chris tries to feed a pass blocked by Rolfe, stolen back by Chris, and he flips it into the zone. Rolling through a mass of players, and it comes to the near side. Fairburn dumped by Flett, and he in turn is wrapped up in the corner by Brad Park, and Fairburn is getting up slowly. Not so much hurt as I believe his skate was caught under Bill Flett's right boot.
That has to be one of the most solid body checks any of the Flyers have thrown tonight, as the Cowboy really dug his shoulder into Fairburn and leveled him. Faceoff will be in the circle to the right of Giacomin. Flyers lead 3-2. We've got 5:47 to go here in the second period of play as both teams have traded goals. And again across the way, Gene, the long arm of the law reaches out there.
You know, Don, I think the thing that might displease Fred Shiro is the fact that 3 times now the Flyers have scored and the Rangers have come back within minutes to get one back, and that's not taking advantage of the opportunities, you know, to keep the lead and draw up that 2-goal edge. Down behind Ferrand. Stemkowski in there, challenging DuPont. Pass blocked high in the air and out of the rink, and it's off Stemkowski, so the faceoff will come into center ice. 5:31 remaining in the second period. Each team has scored a goal, so the Rangers still trail by 1. The Flyers leading 3-2.
Someone down in the corner to our right gets a Stanley Cup souvenir as both teams take advantage of the stoppage in play to change lines. Flyers will go with McLeish, Lonsbury, and Dornhofer. Stemkowski, McGregor, and Irvin out there for New York.
To Sealing, flips it into the zone. There goes Jimmy Watson with Stemkowski, who's big and strong. Ties him up in the corner. Now Dornhofer in there to help out, and they're wrapped up along with Irvin. They jab at one another, trying to get a little extra oomph in there, as Irvin has his left glove up against Dornhofer's neck.
Ted Irvin, along with Ron Harris and occasionally Peter Stemkowski, the recognized policeman of this New York Rangers club. Irvin, a big, strong winger, will not back down from anyone and will oftentimes be the intimidator, the aggressor, just to shake up his club and get things going. Now it's Kachuk leading his line on the ice. Fairbairn on the right wing and Vickers on the left wing.
Big key is Kachuk been getting the draws. He gets it again, goes into the corner, tied up by Van Imp. Trying to kick it free is Vickers, but he does right onto the stick of McLeish, flips to center ice, tipped away, and down goes Fairbairn as he was off balance. The puck was given to McLeish's forecheck by Nielsen and rolls into the corner. Winding it around is Jimmy Watson of Lonsbury. He can't get it out. Now it does. Here's McLeish with Dornhofer. 2-on-1. Over the line. In. Shot. Blocked. McLeish the rebound. And it's tipped to the corner. Saving the day there was Jim Nielsen, and the puck to center ice. Flyers had an opportunity to hurt the Rangers there as they got a 2-on-1. Down goes Jimmy Watson on the near side. Checked by Fairbairn. Dornhofer into the corner. Lonsbury chases it with Nielsen. Tempo picking up. Lonsbury ties Nielsen up in the Ranger left wing defensive corner for a stoppage of play with 4.5 left in a second period that seemed to settle down into a dog cat and mouse game, and now is opened up again.
Fairbairn could very well have been tagged with a charging call on Jimmy Watson as he kept right on going at Watson long after the puck had been passed off. But Brian Lewis again chose to let that one slide, and now we've got a face-off to the left of Giacomin in the Rangers zone. We're down to 4.5 minutes left in second period play.
Zaleski on the far side tries to dump it on the net. Blocked, stolen away by Rattel. Winds it around the boards to Ralph. Tied up by Kindrachuk. He goes down, and Ralph lifts it into center ice, and trying to break was Rattel with Hatfield, but it was tipped away by Van Imp. Rattel back in his own zone to Park. Stolen away as Park tried to lift it up ice by Kindrachuk. Now played through Park and Hatfield by the Rangers. Now Gilbert is checked. Here goes Rattel penetrating behind the net, over skates, sends it out along the near side. Park challenged by Kindrachuk, and it rolls to Barber. Barber fails to get it out. Played into Rattel. Rattel's got Hatfield. Saved by Perron, and a great play as this gag line is starting to chug. This is by far the best game the Rangers have played in the three against the Flyers in this semifinal round, and it's really been great goaltending by Bernie Perron that's been the big difference. Again, Rattel setting up Hatfield in the far face-off circle, and Perron from point-blank range making the save, juggling the puck, then gloving it, squeezing the glove to hold on. Face-off upcoming in the circle to Perron's right. Flyers lead 3-2 with down to 3:46 left here in the middle period of play. Bernie Perron with a 1.89 goals against average in regular season play to lead all goaltenders. 1-3-1 going into tonight's game in Stanley Cup playoff. Winds it back. There's Ralph. Saved by Perron, and he drops it right in front with Stemkowski pushed off one way by Ashby and McGregor tied up by DuPont, but we have a face-off again to the right of Perron. I think a key tonight, Don, the Rangers are getting a percentage much higher getting the face-offs than they did in games 1 and 2.
Well, Bobby Clark led all face-off getters in the last game in the Spectrum with 20 out of 27. And you can't score without the puck. Possession 9/10 of the law.
Well, Clark gets this one back to Ashby up along the far boards. Nice feed to Clark, and he'll come up to center ice with Schultz on his left. Over the line, Schultz's shot, tipped wide behind the net, bounces there. Flett tries to center, goes to Schultz, tipped away, and here come the Rangers. McGregor up along the near side, leaves for Stemkowski. Pass stolen away nicely by Ashby, tipped off Schultz's stick. Over the line comes Clark, and offside as it was deflected into his skates, and he dragged it behind him. 3:18 remaining in the second period. The Flyers continue to lead by 1.
Again, these same two teams will go at it in Game 4 here at the Madison Square Garden on Sunday afternoon. We'll be carrying the play-by-play on WCAU radio. Gene Hart's pregame show at 1:55 will be on the air live from the Garden here at 2.
All right, we've got Clark on the wing now, along with Flett. Crisp at center. Nielsen tries to get it out, almost stolen away, but covering up nicely is Irvin. Still in the corner, dumps it into the near side. Sealing races for it. Crisp after him, pokes it away. Clark tries to keep it in and just fails at the blue line. And Matt Pavlich was right alongside Bobby and pointed there and said offside.
I'd like to make a correction. It's going to be WPEN, Harlan, both AM and FM? Both AM and FM. That's WPEN 95 on your AM dial. That's Sunday afternoon.
Rangers get the draw. Irvin back to Nielsen alongside Sealing. Sealing forechecked again by Crisp and has trouble with it. Off to Nielsen on the far side. Plays through. Here comes Stemkowski with a shot. Oh, just off the heel of Perrant's glove and up and over the glass, and maybe another sail inch or two higher, and the Rangers tie this game. But Perrant had enough of it there to kick it out of harm's way.
You know, Gene, every time I see Stemkowski in action here on Ranger ice, I can't help but think of that triple overtime that both you and I had the pleasure, if you will, of broadcasting here to the wee hours of the morning against Chicago 4 or 5 years ago. A great playoff contender.
Let's gets this draw. Kachuk has been effective tonight. Rolls, though, to Van Imp. Around the board, the near side. Fairburn wants to keep Lonsbury off. It goes to Park at the point. In along the near side, centered, and tipped away by Van Imp up to McLeish, who breaks with Dornhofer and Lonsbury. McLeish over the line. Nice sweep check by Rolfe. Takes a clearing pass away from Dornhofer as he appeared to be turning the defense on the right wing. McLeish behind the net. Steals it away from Park. Gives to Lonsbury. Lonsbury wants to get rid of it. Tries to dump it in the corner. Fairburn dumps it away. Right to Lonsbury. A shot blocked. The rebound is loose in front and cleared out the center ice by the Ranger defense. 2:18 remaining second period and the clock running. Van Imp along the near side. Pass rolls to Park. Stolen away by Lonsbury, and he was taken down, and no penalty was called. And even the Ranger fans here were going, ooh. Back comes Rolfe into the near corner. Fairburn there. But overskating it here is Kachuk. Shave as Kachuk fed to Vickers, and the save was made by Perrant, who just stretched out the glove on the pad on that right side. Back comes Sealing. His shot offside as Perrant makes the grab with 1:47 left. And Don, when they go ooh in New York, you know it's a penalty.
Well, I can't help but agree. That's the way we saw it up here. Bernie Perrant again coming up with a key save, and he's been stellar here tonight. A long drive. Perrant making the save off the boards. And it was picked up there by Kachuk. And he kicked it wide as coming in off that left wing was Steve Vickers in his favorite post right outside that Flyer crease.
Bertel, Nielsen along near side to Sealing. Wants to dump it in. Gilbert clears it in. Van Imp had to go off his skate. Failed once. Gets it a second time up to Clark to Crisp. Looking for Barber on that far side. To the Ranger defense. Kicked away by Sealing. He circles away from Crisp. Up to Rattel on the left wing. Now Hatfield right up the middle. Gilbert on his right. Over the line. Through. Looking for Hatfield. Rolls still Gilbert. Tips to Nielsen. Rolling puck. Shot. Blocked in front. They scramble for it. And Jimmy Watson knocks it to the near side. Gilbert a shot. They score! Gilbert fired on the net. Through a screen, and it trickled on a Bernie Perrant, and this game is tied at 18:44. I don't know if Gilbert will get it. It may be Hatfield in front of the net who got a tip in, but we'll have to look at it again.
Gene, I think it went in off of a Flyer skate. Vic Hatfield, it was shaken up on that check, and I believe he could be through. There's the check, that a solid check by Bobby Clark, but on the ensuing play, I think you're going to see that the drive from Nielsen deflected in off of, well, Watson cleared it. Gilbert will drive from the near boards, and it appeared to go off the stick of Bobby Clark by Perrant. So it'll be Gilbert getting the goal, and it's all tied up 3-3 as Hatfield is led noticeably limping, actually being carried to the New York Ranger dressing room. A hard check, a good clean one thrown by Clark, and it could very well be that Hatfield has re-injured that bad ankle.
Well, a good play by Gilbert, who had nowhere to go and just uncorked that big slap shot. They give it to Hatfield, although he never touched the puck. And it will come Hatfield from Gilbert. and it comes at 18-44. So the Rangers, who have trailed 2-0, have trailed 3-1, now have tied this hockey game at 3 on a good opportunity goal. Now back comes Billy Barber against Ralph. Holds, tries to dump it weakly in, and does on Jackman, who steers it away from both Clark and Lonsbury. Up ice comes Ralph. Over the line. Wants to play in. Does. Tip. Save. It's loose in front. And cleared out along the near side as the Rangers came close. Back comes Clark with Barber and Lonsbury over the line, and he can't control, has to deke back at the blue line and retreat to his own zone. 40 seconds left in the period. The game is tied at 3. Up along the near side. Gives to Lonsbury. Lonsbury tries to penetrate, runs into the linesman, and a good check from McGregor, and Park has it now. With a half-minute left in the period. 3-3 the score. Up ice in the right wing to McGregor. Into the corner. Tips out off the side of the net. Touched up by Van Imp. Gives it away along the near side to Irvin. Looks to center. Right in front, they whack at it, but Perron had it on the fly as McGregor tried to tip it out of his mitt with just 14 seconds left in the second period.
Face-off will be in the Flyer zone. It's going to be dropped in the near circle to the left of Perron. As Ted Irvin scooped that puck out of the near corner to our right, their right wing corner, flipped it right in front. Backhand glove save Perron, as on both knees in front was Peter Stemkowski, and Bernie Perron made sure that Stemkowski didn't get back to his feet and attempt to re-enter the fray after the puck had been tied up. It's going to be Kachuk against Crisp with 14 seconds left in the second period of play. Score tied 3-3.
All right, Kachuk, got Fairburn at the top. This is a key draw. Don't want to get it back to Fairburn. Crisp wants to get it in towards the goal and does. DuPont around the back of the net. Comes this way as Kachuk forechecking. Still behind the net. Clock down to 7 seconds. Up along the near side. McLeish will jab it out, and that'll do it for the period with 2-1. And the buzzer sounds. And we've completed the end of the second period with a score of the Flyers 3 and the Rangers 3.